Hey, welcome back, folks. Listen, no matter how strong you are physically and mentally, there are times that your body can fail you. That's when you need to look within for strength and courage. Here's a picture of my next guest. I want you to see him today. Please welcome David Octavio Gandell. David, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. Thank you, brother. Sit down.
Thank you for having me here.
This is really great, man. Dave, you don't look anything like the picture.
Yeah, that looks like death. I was at death door.
Yeah?
I was death sentences and basically just, you know, not any chance of living.
What was the diagnosis?
I had an immature teratoma. It's a rare and a terminal cancer. And it grew to the point that it was literally covering all my organs.
I've been a consultant for health club industry probably for over 10 years. I've been blessed with anything that I wanted to do, from acting, modeling, commercials, going to college, getting my degrees. I knew God, I knew Christ. I went to church. The difference was basically I lived a lot of whatever I wanted to do, I did. In January of 2004, I felt a lump, and it took me 7-8 months to finally get to the hospital and look to the doctor and found out what I already thought I knew, that I had cancer.
But it was simple. August 13th, I was diagnosed, and 3 days later, I had surgery. It was that quick, and I thought it was done. But 2 years later, it came back.
I just kept living. I kept living like any day God could take the cancer away. Any day I would feel fine again, and it just wasn't happening. But I kept modeling and I kept doing runway shows. It wasn't until August again of that year that I ended up in the emergency room. I tried to do everything that I could as a human being, as a trainer, as somebody that had a lot of knowledge, to try to battle this myself without any medicine. But there was a little bit of a valley that I had to walk through. The fear was a little bit, it was tough, because now I had visions of chemo. I had visions of going through something very painful. The CAT scan, you could not even see one organ in my CAT scan, because the cancer had spread into a branch and it covered all my organs from my pelvic region to my chest. Every doctor in the country basically said that I wouldn't make it through that weekend. Got a phone call that night, and Dr. Benedetto, he called and said, bring him down. We'll try something. And they had given me 14 chemotherapies in that one round. I came home August 24th, August 25th at 124 pounds. I was still living at 124 pounds. I still could breathe, barely. But that barely breath I was thanking God for.
The support I got from my family and prayer groups was overwhelming.
I got cards from people in Pennsylvania, Atlanta, Chicago, everywhere that were putting me in their prayer list. I just kept thanking them, and just in amazement, like, keep praying because it's working. After my third round, I kept praying every single day and say, God, what can I do? I had to eat. My calorie intake went straight up to 4, 5, 6, 7,000 calories a day. And after that, after my third round, I said, I'm going to the gym. I gained like 7-8 pounds, I think. The next time I came back to the hospital, and the doctor said, what are you doing? I said, I'm working out. I said, you can't work out. Your immune system's not strong enough.
I said, don't worry. You'll do your part, I'll do mine, and God will take care of the rest. After 7 rounds of chemo, 5 months later,
I had gained weight, got over 140 pounds. You could see my body change. My surgery was February 1st of 2007. I knew that the cancer was going to be taken out. The surgery was 12 hours. They removed the kidney, they removed part of my colon, they removed part of my intestines, they removed 3, 4 different masses that were tumors. And my doctor said, we could not find any sign or anything that dealt with cancer. Nothing. After all this, there was nothing left.
So every doctor in the country basically, I became a case study.
Yeah.
So every doctor in the country knew about it, and literally they didn't want to take the case. They just looked at me and said, we can't do anything. There's no cure for immature teratoma. So I would call myself God's miracle, but certainly as a case study in the medical world.
Yeah.
But faith, brother, that's it. You know, faith in God.
Yeah.
So, at 29 years old, I was basically a trainer, a fitness manager of health clubs, model acting, you know, part-time here and there. I host fitness shows. I help people change their lives physically.
Right.
Perfect health. I get cancer. That was it.
Wow, so this was you.
124 pounds.
How long ago was that?
That was August of 2006.
Wow, man. That had to be a really, really trying time. Especially, you know, if you're this physical guy, physically fit.
Yeah, long hair. I had this physique. I was trainer, running multiple gyms. I was having a great time with life, and I believed in God, but my relationship, when I first got diagnosed, from 2004 to that picture, 2006, God was preparing me for something.
What do you mean?
I believe I was chosen to share this testimony. When I was given that death sentence for that weekend, that I'm not gonna survive that weekend, one doctor, my Dr. Benedetto, with Sylvester Cancer Research in Miami, he's the only one that called. And then he goes, well, we're in uncharted waters, we don't know what to do, but we're gonna try something. Well, go ahead and try. I said, well, the chemo that we're gonna give you might kill you. So, first round, 14 chemotherapies. One round, 14. I wake up at 124 pounds. He goes, David, in 5 days, if you come back, we'll start the second round. I'll see you in 5 days. I went home, I took that picture. I promised my parents, I promised my family, I said, you will never see me lose another pound because I'm not dying.
Come on, man.
And I pointed up at God. That's why that picture is there. And then I went to the gym, Steve. I started eating about 5,000 to 6,000 calories. And then I went to the doctor. And I gained about double or triple the amount of pounds that I was gaining per chemo. I actually gained weight through chemotherapy. And he looks, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to the gym. I'm lifting weights. He goes, you can't do that. You're going to die. Think about it. Your chemotherapy kills your white blood count.
Right.
Thank God it came back up. Right. But at the end of the day, he was like, you're going to die. You could get a cold and you die. I said, wait, hold on. I have terminal cancer.
You done already told me I'm going to die. So every time I see you,
correct.
You keep saying you going to die.
I got terminal cancer.
David originally had a testicular cancer, which generally is a very easily treatable tumor, particularly when it's at a low stage. And actually, David was referred from some other doctors. He had a very large tumor in his abdomen. He had tumor floating in cells. He had fluid in his lungs. He was really, really in bad shape. But David's case was the worst case because he had to have a response to chemotherapy in order to have any, future. The chemo absolutely was the treatment that made the difference. If he didn't respond to that treatment, then David wouldn't be here today. And David has a strong faith, which he speaks about. And I think, yes, I think that helped him get through and helped me to help him get through. I think that that's probably true. I think that there is very little about this specific entity that exists in our knowledge base. This is kind of unique. He had such a dramatic response. In fact, I think he probably exceeded all of our expectations. It gives me great pleasure to know that you are out there inspiring other people, and it gives me great pleasure when I see your pictures or information about you, because you are an inspiration.
You can't have a testimony without a test. There is no...
Correct.
It does not occur that way. I love your story when I heard about it because I said, okay, here comes a guy that if I bring on the show, is going to tell the truth to people. See, we're fortunate enough to have medicine and doctors.
Yes, sir.
But
They're
when a
instruments.
doctor and medicine get to the point and they tell you they've done all they can do, cool, no problem. Now, I'm gonna go to the source.
Yes, sir.
Where anything is possible.
Amen.
Where all things are doable.
Yes, sir.
Where with the measure of faith, some things could happen for me. So, man, I'm happy for you. I hope that people who are watching this show who feel like it's over can find some strength in your story.
It's God's story, man. It really is. And thank you for believing in it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna just be real with you. I don't really have a choice.
Yes, sir.
Because you dig, I only exist today because of grace, mercy, and favor. That's the only reason I exist today. I can't even explain my life. I can't explain this career I have. But when you allow him to put his super on top of your natural, some supernatural things can happen in your life, man. And that's all that happened to me. Thank you for sharing your story, man.
God bless
Thank you very much. I want to thank David for that great story. We'll be right back, folks.
2 years I've been cancer-free. I live 2 months at a time now. That's how often I get checked. And every time I hear I'm healthy, I know I have 2 more months to do God's work.
Now I know everything I do has a purpose, everything I do has a meaning, and everything I do, the consequences of it, I want it to be to glorify God and to have my Father be proud of why I'm here. People that know me or people that don't know me, that got to know me, they always ask me, well, how did you do it? What happened? And I said, well, I believe in God, I believe in Christ that saves me and heals me and protects me and supports me and loves me over all things. And but if you want to go to church, come with me and you'll know. For God to use me to get someone to just accept Christ as their Savior, that to me is probably the best feeling I've ever felt in my life. I am here, and I'm alive, and I'm grateful, and I'm blessed.